This is Paljakanvaara forest in Kainuu, eastern Finland. Let's stop here. For 12 years now, we at Mustarinda have been part of this multi-species community. We are a group of artists and researchers, and we have a house in the middle of this oak-grove forest. We run a residency program, do art and environmental education, organize events and exhibitions, give talks, and have our own magazine. Our aim is to create spaces where people and ideas can meet, and where we can collectively experiment and research post-fossil living. We want to bring art and science in dialogue, promote the diversity of nature cultures, and share knowledge on ecological ways of thinking and doing. Environmental themes are a natural part of art, as they are a natural part of everyday living. We are all part of nature. If one says that nature topics are not important, it means understanding nature as something separate from us, from me. This needs to change. At its best, art has a possibility to reach beyond the division between human and nature, the division which is behind many of the root causes of the environmental crisis. Rather than art only being a vehicle for expressing human emotions, art has been described as something that is made to imitate nature in her manner of operation. When being in an old-growth forest, this idea can be fully understood. In her manner of operation points to all of the social processes of growth and decay, birth and death, as well as all the movements of life that include the weather systems, the cycling of the seasons, and the orbiting of the planets. Nature is best understood through the entirety of all these interconnected dynamic processes, as they happen on scales that range from the microscopic to the celestial. These processes are inclusive of everything in, around, and beyond us humans. Nature is interesting, magical, and fascinating. One cannot ever know everything about it. When we appreciate the richness of diverse ways of being, when we accept seemingly unimportant or visually unpleasant forms as part of the chains of life, we can also extend this approach to the socially constructed human societies. Defending biodiversity means also defending social diversity and equality. Encounters with nature processes have an inherent value, whether they are ordinary, everyday events, or if they happen to be some of those rare and special encounters. This is about recognizing one's place in the world and expanding one's awareness beyond the self. Biodiversity in nature makes these types of encounters more numerous, and it enriches the experience of living. Art cannot solve the biodiversity crisis on its own, but encountering impactful art can provoke reactions that allow one to reflect on, feeling lucky to have witnessed something, felt a part of something, and gained an awareness that can expand one's view of the world. The more people who have access to both art and nature experiences, the sooner we can start thinking differently about how to continue living fairly on this planet and to shift perceptions on what a desirable life looks like. Some of this may sound naive at times, but committing ourselves to systems that are based on perpetual growth on a planet with finite resources, or convincing ourselves that technology will solve the problems we are creating for ourselves is much more naive and will have graver consequences in the long term. In a global sense, the importance of what biodiversity means for life on Earth cannot be understated. Artworks and artistic processes that can help raise awareness of these issues are incredibly important right now. Often an artist positions herself in researching and experimenting positions in order to find new viewpoints. Art doesn't have to be productive, and that's why it can show new directions for the wholes of society. Within the artistic community, we can test different ways of thinking and doing, which can then spread into common use, if they turn out to be useful. Art involves the body within thinking practices, which means it challenges the traditional binary ways of thinking in our culture. Art can show things we might not be able to see or read. It evokes feelings such as curiosity, which is incredibly important. Art can also bring natural sciences closer to personal experience, so that the knowledge can be applied and experienced in multisensory ways. Art has since the beginning of time had a communal role. It is part of rituals. In Western art history, it has been evoking feelings of eternity and transience of life, for example in church art and vanitas compositions. Art can awaken a so-called oceanic feeling, the feeling of being an inseparable part of a grand entity. Art shows the way to fall in love with, to become attached to, and to learn to appreciate diversity. Art helps us to be playful. Art can also help us to mourn nature's fragility. All of this is part of the cultural and societal change that is needed urgently in order for us to maintain our environment as one which is livable for humankind now and in future. If we want to live on this planet, we need others. That's why biodiversity is an important topic for art and everyday life. Our house is actually quite close to this tree. You are welcome to visit if you happen to be in the neighborhood.